Presentimento.
Voilà. On peut lui donner ou pas? Oui, tu vois.
고만을 샀으면
Voilà.
샀고 샀어도 샀고 5만 원씩.
J'ai été. Les chaises un petit peu plus.
근데
Sinon, on peut pousser un petit peu ça. On arrive.
된다지. 뜻이가는 뜻이강바디 하고 좀 와서 뜻도시하시. 뜻도시하면도 르브시베시.
Est-ce que tu cherches?
던지리. 오!
Pose-le sur le. Non, non, pas sur la vitre. Pas sur la vitre. Pose-le sur le tapis carrément.
그래.
Je suis à la Ningbo.
그래.
Papa kuncho sula cha se lo dige dagi toba de che na chom de kyabu kapcha gu pumpu jila ge longi gendun chenpo tan chanshu senpe gendun chenpo tan tachi tu shu te de ze chom de samu na wa shi Yuki nam changi tinge se la nyo pa shu so yang de se chanshu senpa chenpo papa shen re se wan shu she la ki pa re du chi Chopa nila napa tashin pompo ngapo te tala yang rashin ki tompa napa tawa tene sangye ki tu zedan de pa shari. Chanshu senpa chenpo papa chenpe zi wanshu la dike che me so riki pu gang la la shera ki paru tu chi ma sambe chepa chupa tupa. Chita la parcha deke che me patan chanshu senpa chenpo papa chenpe zi wanshu ki zedan de pa shara tati pu la dike che me so shari pu riki pu mo gang la la shera ki paru tu chi ma chupa tupa de tan na pa tawa chate pompo ngapo te da kyang ranshingi tompa namba yanda pa jetsu tawo su tompa wo tompa ni su le tompa ni shem tompa ni le kyang su she ma ye no de shin tu tsawa tang du she tang namba she pa nam tompa wo shari pu te da chu tam che tompa teni me pa ma ke pa ma kak pa jima me pa jima Jiwa me pa gawa me pa wo shari pu te ta we na tompa ni la so me tsawa me du she me du che na Sheba me mi me nawa na me che me lu me yi me so me ja me ji me ro me re cha me cho me to mi ki kam me pa ne yi ki kam Napa shibe kam ki pa do yang me to mari pa se pa me pa ne gashi se pe pa do yang me to de shin to do ngai wa tang kun jo wa tang go pa tang la me ye she me to pa me ma to pa yang Shari po te ta we na chan shu sen pa nam to pa me pe che ra she ra ki pa ro tu jin pa la te che ne de sem la jin pa me jin cha pa me to jin che lo le shin to yang ge le de pe ta ra jin to du song do na pa shu pe san ge tam she yang she ra ki pa ro tu jin pa la te ne la na me pa yang da pa so pe chan shu tu me pa so pa san ge Vena shera ki para tu jimbe nga ripa jimbe nga lana mepe nga minya bata nyambe nga dume tam shera tu chiwa jimbe na denpa sheba shate shera ki para tu jimbe nga mepa te yata gate para sam gate bodhi so shari pu chanshu sempa jimbe teta shera ki para tu jima sambola lapa jawo tene chomdende tinge zindele shente chanshu sempa Papa chene si wan chula leso she chawa chine leso riki po de shino de shin chida kyo ki tampa shin tu shera ki para tu chi ma samola cheba chate de shin cheba nam kyo jesu yeron chomden de ki zenan de pa shara ta ti po dan shashu sempa sempo papa chene si wan chula tamche dan de pe ko de ta dan la ta me dan la ma Chibe chite yeran te chomden de ki sumbala ngapa tu Kala chibe ne chodan pa ne ngoje su chunga me tu to shen chupa pola na ye bu shin si ne sun ka chwe sola cha se Samaraya pe ya ta gate para sam gate bodhi so Papa control sunki kage tempe toki shi doba yoshi mewa yoshi shiwa yoshi ratu shiwa yoshi Geri ronja geju shiwa tan mitu nepe kyun tan trewa tan tupa drusi pesun so kyo rashi de kyan den de
Dirva, Dashua, Antarctic Sensory.
Niye
Nyese mence
In the end,
Shiga bewa zhu beza bu me wa zhe de ge za zhe yo beza re ge ya ji zha re ga yu ge ga we yu zo re ge wo re ra zha le ba bo lo zam bu le no ba la zhe Chan cha mi nye le da le ba nga ya da nga ya je yo de da la zho ru cha mi nye ge da rinpo je ryo ba sam ge je de je ba ma me be lo do go lo rinpo je no bo rinpo je je mo rinpo je la bo rinpo je Lama rinpoche, dajo rinpoche, mabu rinpoche, deje boye pompa ge ma jewa ma lo ma ga ma medo ma dupe ma nase ma rija ma nye ma da wa rinpoche do jale na pa ge we ge se Beso la da me, beso beso sa wa ma sa wa me pa ti da ji shen sa wa da gyu pa che me pe de la pa ta pa na da ge pa du yan che ju lo san cha pe sa pa ge so pe sa pe she nga ni sha shu lan ge shi pe su shi sa mo shu we she du shi ka gyu wa gyu du shen zhu we du du she su se shi ni ji ge la du se Za je ba ge zho je me do ja ge ja le je ne de ge wa di za ge zho
Sanji Sudribe. Sanji Sudribe. Sanji Padu Dani Pyapsu Chi Dagi Chinsu. Enrola Pense Sanji Enrola Rishu. Sanje Shilan Soye Shon Sanju Badu Dagi Chöze Gibi Sunum Gien Rola Penje San Sho Sanje Shilan Soye Shon Sanju Badu Dane Gyapsu Se Dagi Chöze Gibi Rola Penje Sanje Rumba Sho Adon Lami Midami Mjeyao 예전에서 주인이 손에서 오세반 산지 교교반데 당시 기남비 주인이 지는데 너무 하이게 동로다 누진게 전부다 로와 군지 전 제사바 탐색 최든도 디니다 가슈레 다른데 게루지기 하겠심베 가슈르다 레버지 데시치 지로치 또 슬랍주 좋아 랍주스 인니던 데시자는 나라레 디민도 지금 문제 쉬니 쉬다 주니 니 세우시다 마빈자 룽지만 표제 이게 거쳐 쉬기니스 제빈자 어딘가 됐어.
So first, today, one of my students has made the request for the transmission of an explanation of the root text of the Geluk Mahamudra by Panchen Losang Chökyi. I have received the transmission. I'm not sure about having received the commentary transmission, and so to be sure, I will just give the reading transmission of the text today.
제전다디 가선 가세서 근데 가는 나서네 오래래래 제빈선 대한 되는데 그는 넘버다고지 제는 생규도 계신 분이라리 제전다 그는데 그 뒤는 가르스나 마주난 게 다다님 besim진 탐지기 저거 산지기 고반을 뭐지 진이긴 토벌자 대체도 담배추 간데 자기 준비 나와 배 유니 섬으로 쉬니 땡배 먼저 디슈 쉬니 섬스 공부시.
It's important to begin any Dharma activity forth by establishing a good motivation in oneself, and so now in brief I exhort you to think that it is for the sake of all sentient beings, your mothers, that you will pursue the attainment of complete and perfect Buddhahood, and it's to that end that you will now hear the Ganden Geluk Kagyu Mahamudra root text transmission.
대춘데 심발 때니 센베네 냠술라네 베심지 탐지기 둔도 산기고 한유도 토바지 공군도 된지지 끊는 된지지 공부시로나.
Moreover, you should think in order to achieve Buddhahood for the sake of sentient beings, not only will I receive this transmission, but I will do my very best to put this practice into practice, to apply it, and that again for the purpose of achieving Buddhahood for the sake of all mother sentient beings.
Tatyan galgali mashugi tandi diri lujuru zabina pen luju sene razan soshun sungmare lautazan soshun gerke sungire bamju kombata shigun khalbe sole sungire 상만 sungutdi 다 개발 간제르지 여번에 간데 있는데 가 쉬면도
To give you a bit of background, you could know that at Dagpo Rinpoche, in the assemblies of all the monks, this work is not recited. However, it is, of course, recited and practiced privately. On the other hand, at Bamche Monastery, my initial monastery, it is recited in the assembly of all the monks. I'm not sure the reason for this, but that is the case. So now listen, please listen as I recite it, read it.
나무 마문데다 따르바 나무 사설 마하심부 문제 차기하르바 나무만 마문데세 따따링이 쉬야데 롱장리데 롱장이 드니 찍찍이 지기 슈 투야한다 유는 슈기.
So the text begins with the title and then with homage to Mahamudra itself. And I'm giving you purely the transmission, but from time to time, if I can add a few words of explanation, I will do so.
나무 마문데야디 고데브제르바 나무 차슬 마심부 문제 차게체 이니 군제 라신 차게체 예매 주제 심기 도지 인 젠발 뜬제 캡다 주비지 남에션 라메션로 규자스 이 주주들이도가 제가 이 주주제 또 손디 주주들이스 So
the next verse is the verse of homage again. It says, I respectfully bow at the feet of my peerless Guru, Lord of that which pervades everywhere, a master of those with actual attainment, who expounds in a direct manner the diamond strong Vajra spear of mind, parted from what can be expressed in speech, inseparable from Mahamudra, the great seal of reality in all pervasive nature of things.
최탐지 이런 신임바 그래서 이yerme 봐 단테니페 주제 디딜베 무스 주토야요 말이 제빈즈 주제 제빈기르성도 주제 딜딜은 심기 도지 인스 심기 답에 내로 타도르지 순간면도 이 젠발 뜬세 잡다 주베지 데니티 젠방무스 뚱겐디 지 다음에 라멘 샤블 규벤두세제 던디 주주소르비스나.
So like I said, this first verse is that of homage to the spiritual masters, the Guru, but it refers to Mahamudra itself, which is actually pervades all, pervades all reality, and is of the very nature of a reality itself. And it is the master is praised in terms of being the one who expounds this reality, who teaches it, and So, and in a denuded fashion means directly. And this master is all said to be peerless.
Tenin doju menga yatu jutsu tuyuni chinji manlopun domba zangendila kandeka jubasegres. Tenin bedi tenshirabdila rupcho tamambanza yapse ki tenin kasu tenin lusurabziraba kasu chakje chimbu tamba dri yusingende tandi
So the next verse refers to the expression of the intention of the author. It says that gathering together and thoroughly condensing the essence of the oceans of sutra and tantras and the instructions thereof. That is I will write instructions concerning the Mahamudra, derived that is of the both the Kagyu and the Gelug tradition, and according to the custom of the great city Dhammapada, his father and his spiritual sons. Then the next line gives the outline of the work, which is to say it has the preliminaries, then the actual teaching itself, and then its conclusion.
인베치 용신칠 점주도 생기 때문에 주고 있거든. 거기 생기디 대전 주고 걸어봐. 인정 인도 고단 용신주디 뜻뜻이 이제 이만 잡고 용신칠 가슴 색점만 인베 어렸던데 세기도 가슴 색점 나가서 칸좀 봤어 많이 봐. 심문인데 고등의 순기 지변진 군주수는 겸주당 이니베 심진 탐제 대야랑이 지도와 신도 심진 탐제 동인기 나올 미수비 니지께는 심기 벤nen데 조레스 겸주 심기 낸데자.
So for the preliminaries, first of all, it is important to first to establish within oneself carefully the refuge and the spirit of enlightenment, and not just doing lip service to this, but in other words, in a heartfelt manner. For these are the main beam and also the gateway to the great vehicle and to the teaching. So in other words, it's important to establish these two qualities within you, the mind of refuge and the spirit of enlightenment, and not in a superficial manner, but in a heartfelt manner. For these are actually the entryway into the teaching, and in particular in the Mahayana.
사고도 집에장발 되버리스르바 사고도 집에장 되버 임베 될더니 소사 집장 체도 이견붐데 이견붐되한다고 동샤 사야라고 드니 차만 망봉원도 땅니 이견붐좀 동샤네 야자 강망원 땅네 고대도와 두숨 산지 탐제도 예매 자외 라마라 니네 순데비 양양자 라마는 소다기지.
So the text continues. In order to be able to see the actual nature of the mind, this is dependent upon accomplishing accumulation practices and purification, and therefore you should do purification practice by means of the 100th syllable of Vajrasattva syllable, perhaps do doing prostrations, maybe 100,000. No, that's afterwards. First of all, or doing confession practice also, according to the Confession of Transgressions text. You can also do up like 100 prostrations, or as many as you can, and that by way of preliminaries, and then doing heartfelt and repeated applications or requests from the depths of your heart to the Lama, inseparable from all the Buddhas of the 3 times. So I come to the main part of the teaching now. This concerning the great Mahamudra, the great seal. There are various ways of explaining it, for either according to Sutra or to Tantra. Basically, there are essentially 2 ways according to Sutra and or according to Tantra. So according to the latter, in other words, to the Tantra, it consists of generating the clear light of bliss by means of the skill, through which you sorry, I'm not sure how this Chima Doje Lulchen. So the
Lututa Naru Mediba Medibe Chajende Juninko Tembai Tendi Juninko Zen Kasagan Juninko Tembai Lame Jude Yanita Lame Jude Yanit Resonata Hadun.
So the latter is a greatly blissful, clear light of mind, manifested by such skillful message as penetrating vital points of the subtle Vajrapati and so forth. The Mahamudra of the traditions of Sarahara, Nagarjuna, Naropa, and Maitripa is the quintessence of the Anuttara Yoga Tantra class, and it, as in the 7 texts of the Mahasiddhis and the 3 core volumes.
The moment is in Doludirva, Doludilla Kendrin to soon. Mumma Kendrin to soon, Kita gave Kendrin to soon say. Any Kendrin to soon, you have no machine that they have women do. More than Tony comes with the Kendrin to soon, then being more than Tony comes with race. Dele Shembet. So as
for the former, in other words, according to the Sutra tradition, the Mahamudra consists of, refers to the ways of meditating on emptiness as indicated directly in the expanded or long version, or the intermediate version, or the condensed version of probably the Prajnaparamita Sutras. And the supremely realized Arya Nagarjuna has said, except for this, there is no other pathway of mind leading to liberation.
Dile shimbe tabela meje paso lutup sungse ngubu lutup sumbares.
So this is exactly what the protector Arya Nagarjuna said, that other than this, there's no other path to liberation.
Tash dikapsu shung dikapsu dini deyi gomba shingubu lutup sumbanashin chaki simpu chi podi simgi ngonchu jesu gyunde lamin sungshindu jugi yinsa sungda.
So the next, so I shall give here the relevant instruction on Mahamudra according to the intention of this master of Nagarjuna, and explain the methods that lead you to know the mind face to face, in keeping with the expositions of the lineage masters.
The
gap de resha di resha handshake dire handshake go dire handshake
ndiri deni di kan shugu shiche
shibare
shuwa günden lamin sungshin chus simgi ondusi günden lamin sungshin deni min tada mangbo yesere senji gezur kauma ngande oronyum yigishi deni shije 주고들이 시지스리 시지주의 소전당 우메타지 세민답을 민도다 민자만 위쳐 우메타지 가서 소소 민도 만나양 소소 민다셔 민다지 망보 여디 네버 뜬게 롱다 리벌 캐싱 롱다 리벌 캐바 마세 랑기 냠니 규리께니 냠뇽쟁이 nenjurbe 제나 냠뇽쟁이 nenjurbe 되게 랑기 냠수원에 랑기 nenjurbe 되게 제베이나 공부치고레스 냠뇽쟁이 nenjurbe 제나 공부치도 밥
So then this practice is given many different names. It's called simultaneously arisen, as merged, the amulet box, that which has 5, of equal taste, then the pacifier, the 4 syllables, the objects to be cut off, the dzogchen, and the discursive, the Madhyamika views, the explanation of the Madhyamika views, and so on. There are many different names given to this practice. However, the definitive meaning is established by yogis who have spiritual experience of this and are knowledgeable and analyze it therefore through logical reasonings and quotations. And it's when having done so, it comes down to the same.
곰도는 따워서베 루니어레스 니에베나네 니네 디니 치멜루시 디 곰도는 따워서야게 루디 나신이 손다 디니 치멜루시 인송도
So there are the two methods in this sutra tradition. So seeking a meditative state, having gained a correct view of emptiness, and then the opposite in the sense, seeking a correct view on based on a meditative state. And the author says he will explain it according to the latter.
근데 치매로시도 공돈 따오서 자든라도가 something that 간지 우리시도 something 대외 되고 그래서 들어봐. 대순 잡으시 뭐지? 얘는 르네 든제 얘는 롱루 고두세 롱파동 수도 있지. 얘는 리바 땅이 렉버체니 대심세부로 차대도 얘는 리바 땅이 렉버체 얘는 남다 개베 셈dembe 리바 땅이 렉버체 가르더니 계심 남바다 보던데 이베 계심 남바다 본데 고리 숨구이다다 남다 개베 셈dembe 겸도 심기 원도다 당부 겸도제 되는 심기지 우리스 겸도 심기 원도다.
So so according to the author says he's going to follow the latter method, and explains the first of all creating the setup, the conditions for this practice to be accomplished. So first of all, you are sitting on a correct, comfortable seat for meditation. You establish the 7-point Vajrayana posture. Physically, and do the 9 breathings in and out to calm your mind, and then having well established like a very clear state of mind, a lucid state of mind, then you establish also a very virtuous and pure mental state, and then take refuge and generate the spirit of enlightenment.
Dini samnam lamen jokom. Dini shuta sundip kazasu. Jeni that lamen jokom laman sundip shuta bu be kazasu jeni dini laman de rang tim.
So then you do a very intensely profound practice of or meditation of Guru Yoga. Very intense, and you do very intense supplications. There are 100 supplications or requests to the spiritual masters, after which, having done this, you then dissolve the Lama within you.
Lamadrang tim no pembun anti pembun skaraseguna no pembun antela reto la so namdo ki yabochun sambrtu majun je so dendig namdo ki jechu majeba jeba de chuba je chigis subat 말에 소원을 쓰바 지부럽지리 제주 강에 미지발 요매 중세 냠바샤 요매 버심 중세 냠바쇼스.
After this, then you establish within you a mind that is free of moving around, of bim bum, not sure what that means. And put aside your various thoughts about, well, maybe this will go well, maybe it won't go well, for example, and put aside these sort of these wavering states of mind, and establish, on the contrary, an unwavering mental state. Place your mind in that.
Yawada Nilo Nanshingi, Yil Cheba Kappa de Maris, Yetan Nilo Tabu Yichi Kappa Mayimba, Yil Cheba Kashaba Kampa de Mari, Mayimba, Sim Mayimba, Trembe Jansu Sim Gipe, Teta Urswandas Mendo Dati Shimido, Mayin Trembe Jansu Sundua.
So this does not mean that it's as if you have fainted or fallen asleep and ceased therefore to have mental activity due to that. It's not a question of that, but on the contrary, you are to establish an unwavering awareness of your mind itself.
Ritin Seve Mula Shingin Jimla Chirikitu, then Sim Session Seve Mudilla, then be Shimgi Jimla Chirikitu. This is the one was Mando, the Shimgi Jim said the Shingman Chirikitu. Namdo Gandan Gankeba, or it did to sing that is you.
So you therefore tie your attention to the post that is your mind itself, and not let it wander, using your watchfulness and just focus one-pointedly on and directly on the very nature of your mind, which is to be aware and clear and aware, or clear and knowing. And this, therefore, without any, not letting any other thoughts arise.
Namdo Ganda Gankeba, Sim Topata Yadu, Ramadika, Nazo Jagerba, didn't think Musimba Jenny, didn't Topata the Yagas, it was Munzin Jenny, Munzicha, didn't think Munzincha.
So when various other thoughts do arise, as they will, you simply to identify them, thoughts regarding this is good, this is bad, and so forth. You just recognize them for what they are.
Yana Regor Kenshin, Pesindasri, Reti Corgan, Reti Pe. You can within this thing. Yana Regor Kenshin to Namdo Chiki Pepe Juice. Some Namdo Karkebe in Kadu Katulpa. The Kakao Resungu in the man at the machine Yagumu. Namdo Chiki Pepe Ju. The Redin to you win coil be Kartabini, the Jaggerwa, the Pedirwa, Namdo Chiki Pepe Ju. Und Re. Didn't Jabet never did symptoms nedu. Jamba Mashur, Hugi Lu, Jamba Taspa, Show Maimba, Despasim Hulu Zene, Shimgi Jimla, Hugi Lu, and the singing to the Nervous Tagarina.
So then an analogy is used of a person waving a sword around, and so whatever a sword being waved around encounters, it will slice it, cut it up. And the idea is that similarly, whatever thoughts arise, you are to strive to cut them, to slice them, to cut them off, and after that settle your mind, and not letting your awareness, your recollection be lost. Without letting it be lost, nevertheless, you should relax your mind a bit, And Shilki Jim, so that there's on the one hand you are to be attentive, and the other hand you are to be relaxed. It's not sure what this means.
sim chosa de dire sha sung yu la da di yedan yen chige do njuru jingbe simni de lo nan zhuo te zu me je sung ba tar andi ka re sung yin na njuru jingbe sim tam de ba jor ba ti dem da de nam yu an zu sim chi ka ri ni tam bo shi bu tam de ba yu ba ti ni tin pa lo sha na te zu me ba zhen zhou re sung ba tar ma yin ba sung ba sung yo re sung ba di pe ta has pe lo sho sung yo ma res se sung ba tar ma yin lo tin pe sim ma yin be gan pa her tang wur stat ni shira ka le ka wur shan se sung ba tar ma yin lo.
So it said also that elsewhere that when the mind itself is ensnared in a tangle, loosens up, there's no doubt that it frees itself. So the idea is that usually we are tied up in knots in our minds, and the idea is to loosen these, but at the same time you are not to let destruction arise. It's a state of, in the sense of relaxation, but without destruction.
Namdo kanji ngu la te se rangye tongsan char dishin ne se yan takwa na manji pa tongsan shiki wo tong nen yun reba she trashin ta ming ta ta mangbo jo re di trashin namdo chi ke kyang minggo ba yuwang ngu su ngu simbar che di te ngu la njok ba zingi cha zunni puwe bedan sungwa yin be shenza sungwa re dandi hori nalu yungu de.
So when you look at the nature of any thought that arises, it disappears by itself, and utter bareness dawns. Likewise, when you inspect, when settled, you see a vivid, non-obstructive bareness and clarity. This is known as the settled and moving minds mixed together. So no matter where the thought arises, then without blocking it, you recognize that it is a movement of the mind, and having settled on its essential nature, you find it is like the example of the flight of a bird confined on a boat. As it says, just as a bird having flown from a ship after circling the directions must realight on it.
Chida singni puwe charo ne, sing ta chuzing, jazu kan chuzing tang, chuzing sa chorba, itang shadu tigan ta cha karini chigi yubi ina, tini be singi kan taya orba khora, ta ti kanzam chili yan paasin, kor kebi yan yun, kor kebi yan su, paasa singman to yomare. Jebinza diberi di, zobo zingi chazuni, puwe bedan sungba yinsi. Jidar singin puwe charuni, chonam kone layan ter babshin, duwante sevraba. Sheba chi, undipa chikshin.
So the analogy used, therefore, is that of a bird that sort of lives on a ship, and it occasionally will fly off and circle in the air in the sky, but inevitably it will come back to and settle on the ship. It has no other alternative, and this is the analogy used to describe this process where when thoughts arise, you examine them, but then you actually bring them back and settle your focus on the nature of the mind.
Shiva Chishin Kimbale, Nyamsha Gu, Gangi Yamadiba, Danshin, Sawata, Suzin Kandoyan, Tuyo Marba, Tonsan Nangatabutan, Jiang, Charwe, Chojin Tonsan Nangataburi, Chojin Be, Mubu Jian Chawe, Saman Be, Jian Chawe, Shikiwa, Tatar Simgi. Teta simgi chunyi ni munsum hakdut tongmyo kyang dishis tongshin tendo me simgi chunyi munsum toyorde pende di yinsbe munsum jaya yomar soya surzi tendirbisin do dedi shingi bendo ya dishi sunshi tendo me ore tenin pe Ni resten du me va kanshern zimen lubar sho dinen paz dinen sanje bazan su tebe tamang yinu shi dinen da dipal sunda.
So by cultivating this practice and in this way, cultivating exercising this in this way, your mind, you realize that since the essential nature of the totally absorbed mind is lucidity and clarity, I'm not obstructed by anything and not established at the conclusion of your meditation, you dedicate whatever ennobling or positive forces, get virtue, in other words, having accrued from meditating on mind to the great. No, I've skipped a page. So sorry, try again. So from cultivating these methods, since the essential nature of the mind is clear and knowing, unobstructed by anything and not established as any form of physical phenomena, it is like space and utter bareness that allows everything to dawn and to be vivid. So nevertheless, although the inactual nature of mind may be seen straightforwardly with exceptional perception, and to be like that, it cannot be taken as this or to be verbally indicated or denominated. Nevertheless, although the actual nature of the mind can be seen straightforwardly, it cannot be taken as this or that. Yeah.
Pesil gongba chiki draws, gonzin sangmen dindi sungdus. Di sungdu di, dini le tangbu be simzi, le tangbu le zin simzin la, zhube me zhung tabge dan, simgi gunzu bu ngutru zu, inshi choki genzi ma, 디바 직신.
So the great meditators of the snowy mountain land are practically of a single opinion in proclaiming that this settling of the mind at ease, not cognitively taking as this anything that arises, is a guideline instruction for putting within your grasp the forging of Buddhahood. Be that as it may, I, Chugi Kensino, say that this method is a wondrous, skillful means for beginners to accomplish the settling of their mind, and is a way for knowing face to face the relative nature of mind that conceals something different, deeper. Sorry.
다는 심기 중이는 문주치대 자위수. 다 군주배 문주치 살아봐. 지대 자위수. 산게 남기 이시 국민 준비 주순. 다로 문배 민세베 다벨라메 셰듬 그스. 다벨라메 셰듬 따지긴 송규스.
So that concerns the relative nature of the mind. Now the author goes on to say, as for the method that can lead you to know face to face the actual deep, the ultimate nature of mind, I shall now set out the guideline teachings of my root guru, Sangye Yeshe, who, as his name literally means, is the embodiment of the Buddha's deep awareness. So this, in other words, he will now explain the ultimate nature of mind.
기뷰랑신 장버다 참유시베 공부부 시버 참문직에 기뷰랑신디 뜻은 장버다 숙강송이나 신도야.
Assuming the guise of a monk clad in saffron robes, he has eliminated the darkness enshrouding my mind, while in a state of total absorption as before, and with a tiny portion of awareness, like a tiny fish flashing about in a lucid pond and not disturbing it, intelligently inspect the self-nature of the individual who is the meditator. So in other words, you have a clear body of water, and in it a little fish can jump out occasionally. So it's while in this state of absorption, you use a portion of your mind to inspect, to examine the nature of the person, in other words, of yourself, who is the meditator.
기부사미 추마이 메미 롱메 기부사드 가르스두 사마리 류기사 따따디 용쇼 기부사마이 추마이 메미 롱메 남가마이 남시마이스 남시마이 꾸마이 꾸미나 오늘 텔레신비 기부강 대수 파샤니 기부사 사간도 되디요 말스 연 텔레신의 기부가 따뜻한 기부사의 감준 뒤버지르스 기부 감준 뒤베칠 인배 인자 양다 마이 지다워 대신 양다 보마인바 대신 감네 레레견 뒤실 양다 미두메 숭바 지신 자원나 디바치 신샤나.
So then So as then to describe how the person exists, the highly realized Nagarjuna said, an individual, this is from quotation from the Rinchen Changwa, the Precious Garland, an individual is not earth, not water, not fire, nor wind, not space, nor consciousness, nor is he or she all of these. Yet what individual is there separate from these? So just as an individual is not perfectly existent, inherently existent, because he or she what can be labeled on a conglomeration of the 6 constituents. Likewise, none of the constituents are inherently existent, because each is what can be labeled as a conglomerate of parts. So what So when you search and like that cannot even find a mere atom of total absorption, something totally absorbed and so on, then cultivate absorbed concentration on space-like emptiness, single-pointedly and without any wandering. Without, furthermore, while in a state of total absorption, scrutinize your mind. Not as
susu matu tong sange ta susu tuwa yo marba tong sange jime na susu matu sungdu di nyamshaga ngol sungi yukirba tong yung sungtawe nyamshaga ngol ingirba susu matu tong sange jime jiba meba na soba charsi to dini dishindu ngagba meba Seshindu rigbe gyundi cheba mebar njube sem se deme nangshin zimba tate lungji zhangdu di dire shinda kaimari.
Otherwise, furthermore, while in a state of total absorption, you scrutinize the nature of this state of absorption and discover that it is not as established as any phenomena that is physical or form. It is unobstructive and bareness that gives rise to various thoughts. And it is and it produces, in other words, a variety of things, but it is also a continuum of unhindered clarity and awareness, without that never discontinues. It appears not to depend on anything else, but
마스도 마분스도 이제 신도배 아돈 담바세는 니 요만 숨면도 마신 시순운다 릭바이 난주 따도 만주배 난주 찌지 냠바 쇼스다 대샤
Vale, gracias. So, there's a quotation from the master Shantideva. Says, what are called a continuum or a group, such as a rosary, an armory, and the like, are falsely in relatively existence as findable wholes. But using scriptural citations, authorities, and lines of reasonings, you establish that, or you absorb on the lack of inherent existence, the things don't appear. In other words, don't exist as they appear. And you place your mind one-pointedly concentrated on that.
된다 준비 탐제kin 단계 20시간 기도 선지시 강셔 넘도 짐바르 용리나 강셔 심을 강셔와 탐제 넘도 근심 용스 리는 따뜻 생대자 투면도 된담 춘이신 되면 살 알레 심을 강셔와 탐제 된루기 그 말에 된승기 배주샤버지 임벌 된승기 주샤버지 임벌 하고나 되니 된담 주인신아 디 하고나 돈 된담 바르치 주인신아 되바메바 살기레스 된르지 맨도 떠마시 샤웨는도 릭바 슈발라 So,
in short, as has been stated by my spiritual master, Sangya Yeshe, who is truly omniscient, when no matter what has cognitively dawned, you are fully aware of it as having its existence established by its mere being, and what can cognitively be held by a conceptual thought, the deepest sphere of reality, in other words, emptiness, is dawning without need to rely on anything else. To immerse your awareness in this state of this dawning and totally absorb single-pointedly in it. Oh my goodness, this is how it's been translated. So.
대신 담배경 파담바 산제리 담바시도 대신 담배경 동배응남도 더 파담배 숭지 딩리 갸즈세 아스페지요리 디나노 요리 이순걸 인시순 대신 담배경 동배응남도 리벤 동고르자 따올라 토두메도 딩루와 시소 공부직도네.
So then there's a quotation from the master, the fatherly Padamba Sangye, who in his work called the 100 Verses addressed to the people of Dingri, he says the following: within a state of emptiness or voidness, the lance of awareness is to be twirled around. A correct view of reality is not a tangible obstruction, O people of Dingri.
제는 다 제대로 제는 창신 공부를 중에 남가르치 치밖에 가르사바 뒤숨기 계속 계속제 라면 전주 침보무 딘저지.
At the conclusion of your meditation dedicated to the virtue that you have generated by meditating on Maharudra, the Great Seal of Reality, as well as your all the virtues you've collected over the 3 times towards unequaled enlightenment period.
Tētār kōmne tōrūki yūtu nāwa chīshāriyāng nāngzū shīmū tōshita nēzū chēmbār hāngi chār kāngshār ngānzīng tāwē nē kāngshār ngānzīng tāwē nē tēshūshū.
Having meditated in this way, the 6 kinds of consciousness, you no matter what has dawned as an appearance of the objects of the 6 kinds of consciousness, you inspect minutely its manner of appearance. Its manner of existence will dawn denuded and distinctly. This is the essential point of having whatever has conductively dawned being like what you recognize.
sim khor shil shan sim na sukwe gang na we dun de sim na sukwe de nga zu lo la kar na yin de sung gu ser gang na we dun de man jin de ne zu de ne bar ki la ta du kyong ni ta de shira ha gu mun do.
So in short, whatever appears to your mind itself, for example, that make sure that you are sure about its manner of existence and don't grasp it to exist in the manner that it appears. And always sustain that certainty.
Dītār shēni kōndēki chūkyūn rāngshīn cik tu chōr dēkē tūyān phākpa lē ngūbu ciki tabu kāng tēnē kūngi tabur shēs ciki tūngī kāñīmba tēnē kūngi tūngī chēn sūng tētār chūnyī lā chūshīn nyambar shēkwa ngūhur yuumēn sō kōndēki chōpa tātā dā chēmē tēlē lāngnēn tākbē tsē mingyāng tāyū tsamshiki jāchī tēnchē nyū mē pār mīlam mīkyū chūndā yūman tāpūr ngāngi chārtū gurī sūyā zindā tā nirī mēnrō tā.
So, when you know one thing to exist like this, you see that it applies uniformly to the nature of all phenomena, whether be they part of samsara or of nirvana. And Aryadeva has also explained this, saying the following: anyone who sees a single phenomena sees all, and any voidness of one thing is the voidness of everything. So in the face of correct total absorption on the actual nature of all things like that, there is it's just the severance of cutting off of a mentally fabricated extremes regarding everything of samsara or nirvana as being existing inherently, findable or non-existence, and so on. Yet after you have arisen from your meditation, in other words, when you you see that dependent arising on the functioning of what is merely imputedly existent, simply by names, undeniably and naturally still exists. In other words, when you arise from your meditation on emptiness and you see the various things, you understand that although they appear to exist inherently, nevertheless they are unreal in the sense that they lack that kind of total existence, and therefore you see them as insubstantial, like dreams, mirages, reflections of the moon in the water, and illusions.
Nāwe tōngba mē chibsing, tōngba nāwa mēngōba, tōngda tēnchūng tōnchik bē, lamsāng tēzi ngōndu kyōgōs. Ichi tū tēne, tēnchik tōngba tā tēnchūng tōnchik bē, lamsāng būti, lamsāng tēzi ngōsūndu kyōl kēgiri sūngu yōsima, yōsarita ngōsūndu kyōl.
So in this case, the appearances do not prevent their existence as being devoid of an inherent existence, nor does emptiness interfere with their existence as appearances. In other words, the appearances and emptiness are become one, and it is this way that you can attain the direct understanding of this excellent path, that is the interrelationship between appearances and the non-incompatibility of appearances and emptiness.
Lōsāng chūki kianzi shēsā tē, kēwē rōgōng shīgō nīpa tāng, tēwē lāmdi nyūtō, kēy kio tsik.
So the speaker of these words, another author, is the renunciant, and it was the monk called Losang Chugi Gyatsen, who has heard much, in other words, learned much, and by the power of the virtue, of this virtue, may all sentient beings quickly become triumphant Buddhas through this path, without which there's no alternative path to the state of serenity.
Kōne sūnān, lōsāng chūki kianzi shēsā tiribē, tiribē.
Chakya Chimpo.
Dēdē, jē chakya chimpo ngōchū jēzhūndiyāng, chabini irabada, dī nā chūki nyōmbē ndō gātā tōngni, ēmbē rīsūdō, chāngsōngi chūzūki ndōni, lam dēla, nyamne nyingbur zeba, neshu ramjamba, kendun kenzentan, hardun kachuba, sherab singini ki ngamone, yang kushing. Tibat siksungshana.
So then the author goes on to say, I have compiled these methods that lead you to know face to face the great seal of reality, the Mahamudra, at the repeated request of Kendun Gyaltsen, who is Geshe Ramjamba of the 10 fields of knowledge, and also the encouragement of Sherip Sengye from Handong, who holds the monastic degree of the Master of 10 Difficult Texts. They have seen that the 8 worldly principles in this world are like dramas of madness, and now live in remote solitude following the sagely way of life and taking this path as their essential practice.
Keber dirbe, keber ziduwe munju, tamze kimba kyawu ensaba chimbo, tingi rangshinla, ndombar nzebe, nyamgur shikdu, nyamgur shik nandusun, tingi tenzu nishila ke par, kadam namrim tar tamne, njutu, sheman thakwe. Sheman thakwe. Dirbe. Sheman thakwe di yabu thongmendo. Sheman thakwe lamdi mayimba. Riba.
No.
Tata kanjin pa la madrakwe. Chakya chimbe tamngan thartukwa. Tata yigingobar minu so. She. Ditu. Kakze wongi mingu pa. Chi tu la gongba.
So, further, many other disciples who wish to practice Mahadura at this definitive level have also requested me. Moreover, I have especially composed this text now since the great triumphant Ensapa, the omniscient, majestic commander of the nobling ones with actual attainment, has said in one of his songs of experience to instruct himself and others. He said the following: I have compiled the instructions concerning the stages of the path, the Lamrim, from the Kadam tradition, all the way of entrusting yourself to a spiritual master, in other words, the reliance upon the spiritual master, up to through Shamatha and Vipassana. But in the end, I have been unable to set out now in written words the ultimate guidelines, instructions on Mahamudra, which are not included among these aforementioned pathways, in other words, paths, the Lamrim, in other words, and which are not well known at present to those of the land of snows. Thus, what was not set down in writing at that time, due to the power of its being restricted, was intended for a later period.
Sanje yeshe rabdu tokzesir tamde ranju kinin zagyurki dedan namla keja sanje su gyuru shinin namya misung su disir shena gyoba tuyla sik shesungba dendrawe sheba trube chir dibat sikshanshu.
Also, for example, in the Lotus Sutra, it was stated because it is to be realized completely by Buddha's deep awareness, which is another name for the Sangye Yeshe, the master. You could never say to those who would prematurely write about this method of their own accord that you are enlightened. If you ask why, it is because those who are protectors of refuge have regard for the times.
Shesungba sheba trubi sirtirba tumba nyamen shaki kyabo nusungde rajaga tsawe lama tamze kenji sikba sanje yeshe shabji shiyangane ki par dipa tsiksunga.
Therefore, in order for such prophecies as these to be fulfilled, I, the renunciant, in other words, monk Loswan Chuki Kyatsen, have not let degenerate the lineage of inspiration from those who have practiced straightforwardly this path of mind, from the peerless universal teacher, this king of the Shakyas, down to my root guru, the omniscient Sangye Yeshe.
Lamdi ngusumdu tunyam sutarwe jenab gyuba manyamshin tamzil selmi shubwe ma shubwe riksu chungshin 도큐 담배 명난 짐바 뽕발로선 수기 겐징기 간데 넘버기 링도 자우스 what this
So, and who I myself have become a member of this lineage, not letting the close bond of his practice be lost, and who uphold the quintessence teachings of Sutra and Tantras. I have compiled this at Ganden Monastery.
L'essence des sutras et tantras, j'ai compilé les instructions, ces instructions orales au monastère de Ganden Nampa Gewani.
That's the within temperature.
As a good omen, I will read a few lines from the beginning.
간데 사겠음부터 오셔서 너무 마음은 군기라신 상계에서 예매주지 심기도 정말 뜬세 캡다 루베지 남에 샤블 규벤두 좋아 남에 샤블 규벤두 도규명한 겨수 주드네 본tum세 견데 주저 담은 반자 yapsaki 가수상계 심부 담바 내가 인들로 중문주 숨래 당부 땜바던 태진은 주고 고든 중심 실세 어떻게 샤슈
So she read the first two paragraphs. Again, the Namo Guru Mahamuda. Yeah, I respectfully bow at the feet of the peerless Guru, Lord of that which pervades all, Master of those with actual attainment, who expounds in a direct manner, a denuded manner, the diamond strong Vajra sphere of mind, parted from speech inseparable of Mahamuda. Chusakasina. Pege Joshi Medotra Rila
Sanye Shido Mete Joke Nanda Shina Shua Yedam Guru Mandala.
Yeah. Then such a shuajla. Did you? The tree ramarda. No, see, Marin, the tree puya never mindu. I'm trained to mindula. I need to give lungu, then the Toviori. Jevin the Jan Tulshavna.
Just to remind you, I have not given you the explanation transmission because I'm not able to do so now. What I have given you is the reading transmission, which I definitely have received. I'm not sure if I actually received the explanation in transmission, so I cannot actually give it to you, therefore. On the other hand, you have received the reading transmission of the text. Sabe gewadi tendan roa kun la gamba yeba jason lo sandraba tempe nimbo ring du seje show juwe di gewa gansa ba dinich
Deje shero
Deni Jindu Bele Soni Nikata Yaba Kaje Zaba De Lome Mare Gedon Jawana Namde Yame Wombo Na Yoje De Monse Bezera Gedoy Jambe Yonye Zeveze Dembere Magun Zolang Yezu Nyene Ruwe Range Zechen Dowe Lam Nyene Shudra Zewe
se se ni kya ve den ba yu den ba ren chen cho ge ma cham jang jang ba ju ve ning se se bu ye ra ju ba yi pe de se se kya ve men chung se lei ru zhang zhu lam ye ren bei ya pa ru nam ge ye lo ya ve ze ba ren ru yong yu si lam san zhu wei tu ye ru ye ye se se me da me gu se ra ma gu nam da de wa da ma yu ji gang de de ba sui xie zhu la zhen ba de ye zi tong de nam ge da ru zai xie jia zi shu hui qiao ba yu zi是你就问这说是还是生学的咖喱呢？是吧？你讲的是那信心。真的是下午。我的，就是。
La caméra, s'il te plaît.